It is extremely cold out there. Joining me now, Jeff Feilig, with owner of Bigfoot Pro Services. Uh, yeah, it's cold. It's downright cold, and I hope you're staying warm.
Yeah, we're staying warm, trying to stay inside where we can, but it's definitely a little chilly out.
Absolutely. So you're in HVAC right now. Everyone's talking about their furnace and staying warm. What are some of the biggest things you're seeing, or calls you're getting, or in your career that you see when it gets extremely cold?
Sure. One of the things that I've seen along the way is a combination of cold or snow, but the really cold is your furnace exhaust pipes. A lot of them, the high efficiency, they will go out the side of the home, and you can get, yes, exactly. You can
Just
get
like
some
this. Just like
ice
this
build
one.
up, and with it, it blocks off the pipe. And if it's blocked off, you can't exhaust. Fortunately, for our own safety, there's devices in there that will say, "Hey, there's a problem. The exhaust is blocked." So it won't fire and damage the equipment. But in doing so, you're going to be freezing cold because it's going to shut it off. So taking a look at that is definitely a critical one.
Let
That
me let me stop. Let me stop you. Is that
Mhm.
something that the average person? I mean, I'd be dangerous. Like, do I smack the ice off, or is it? Could it be frozen on the inside, or is what's the danger there? Because I wouldn't want to break it.
Yeah, so I mean, don't go Hercules on it, but typically speaking, you can gently it'll break out. Most of it's just barely on the innards. What's happened? There's just a little bit of water that's dripping out of it, and over time, if it's that cold, it'll start to build back up until it connects. So, as long as you're not trying to grab a hold of it, yank it, it should just gently be able to be broken out.
Okay. And what else are you seeing when it gets extreme cold?
Yeah, so I mean that's one of the bigger ones that you can see. Just because the furnace is running nonstop and it's moving a lot of air, checking your furnace filters. Something as simple as your furnace filter, if it's blocked up, it's like the equivalent of me or you trying to breathe through a straw. Something's going to go wrong. And in doing that, you're going to overheat the furnace, and there's safety devices to say, "Hey, I'm too warm. I'm going to cause damage," and then shut off. So those are simple little filter can freeze you out of heat. Next thing you know, you just got cold air blowing on you. So those are the two that I would really say for a homeowner to take a peek at. Um, make sure
I found a
you know,
picture. So that right
yeah,
there, that is, if you have that in your home, not much is getting through, right? It's block. I mean,
exactly.
that's
Imagine
hurting the system too. It's having to work harder, is it, or no?
it is. So there's a kind of a triple negative effect. One, you're not moving enough air, so the furnace is overheating. Two, you're not moving enough air, so now you're not pushing enough air. So now your thermostat's calling, asking for heat longer, and then it's going to run up your bill as it is. So you're hurting the furnace, you're making it run longer, and you're still not getting as much heat. And then it's going to raise your utility bills through the roof.
Well, so that's a simple thing. Go check it, and that way you would avoid a lot of the charges of having your system wear and tear and go down. Just change your filter.
Change your filter. Another little simple one, some of these programmable thermostats, they have batteries in them. Make a note, change your batteries. When you're in there changing your TV remote or something else or smoke detectors, maybe get in there and change it. I personally, when I'd had thermostats that had batteries, I would take those batteries out just once a year, but I'd put them in my remote. If I'm sitting there clicking the channel, trying to move forward and the batteries die, I'm a little irritated if it's dead, but it's a lot better than your thermostat being dead. Just pull them out and replace them, even if you think they're okay, just to be sure you got a good full charge.
Anything? I know a lot of people. It's running constantly, furnaces, and you're probably getting calls from people. But you're saying just doing good maintenance year round will make sure that you don't go down when it is extremely cold like this. Is that how important maintenance is?
It's critical, right? So I mean, this is the time you want it to run and shine. The beauty behind maintenance is more often than not you can identify what those problems are ahead of time. So if you have a blower motor that's getting ready to go out, or igniter, or whatever the case may be, to know it, you know, back in October, November versus, now when everybody is just bombarded with so many service calls, trying to get everybody taken care of because it's so cold. And because it's so cold outside, your temperature in your home drops so quick. So maintenance is critical because it can highlight, if you have anything that's getting ready to hit you or not.
One thing I want to ask, and hopefully, fortunately, it hasn't happened here or in the state so far in the last that I know of, but we do get power outages, a lot of power outages. And I have people ask me about generators, and a lot of people want to be prepared. And you do HVAC, but you also offer generators, right? At Bigfoot?
Correct. So we do whole home house generators, and you can have it just do a couple circuits or all the circuits. So if you want to just power up your critical circuits, your furnace, maybe your fridge, and a couple ones or a few others after that, or you want to, I want the whole house. So we can do both sides of it because if it's cold like this, you start putting an extra load on the grid like this because your furnace, everybody's furnace is running nonstop. Anything like that, you're going to put an extra load on it. It could cause it to go down.
So you can actually have it where, like a lot of businesses or companies, but if someone has a home, you actually can install a generator that will automatically kick on if the power goes out, right?
That is correct.
And it can power the whole house.
Can power the entire house. Exactly.
Wow, that's a good thing probably because you do not want to be stuck like today or when it's freezing like that. So good investment.
It is. I mean, there's, inherently there's certain areas that, everybody knows their friend or family member that has constant issues of power outages, right? In different parts, it's just inevitable. And then if you're not in a very dense, busy area or not on a certain circuit, boy, you can be without power for days. And trying to be without power for days in temperatures like this, you're going to have a rough time.
One more thing, I just thought of it. Insulation. You don't hear about it a lot, but I was out with one of your crews recently, or maybe in the fall, but how important actually insulation is. And I've been through some homes, my home actually, there's not a lot of insulation up there. You actually can come in and put more in and make a home more energy efficient.
Correct. I mean, your furnace is only as good as it can be with its holding. I had a gentleman we worked with. It was a cheesy line. He picked on me before I kind of went down the path of home performance. He said, "You dang HVAC guys, your idea is, you got holes in your boat. Let's put a bigger motor in it so it'll sail across the water still and not sink." Well, how about we seal up the holes and we size the engine, or in this case, the furnace and air conditioner to the right one. So, I mean, if you're the colander house, it looks like you got Swiss cheese grade, you can see right through it. You're getting plenty of fresh air, but you're getting too much. So it makes a huge difference, trying to seal that up along with, we just started doing ductwork sealing with AeroSeal. The first one we did, I still can't get over it. It was 40% of the ductwork. I mean, I'm sorry, 40% of the airflow was being lost through leakage. I mean, it's just tremendous. So if you're leaking all that out, I mean, you're heating it up and letting it go right out the window.
Wow. And that's, for example, like I got new windows at my home and I can't believe the difference it makes. But then I'm still feeling air coming through walls and in the ceilings area. So that's where you come in then.
Correct. Yeah. So depending on what we're doing, one of the other sides is we do have some infrared cameras. And when it's really cold like this, it makes it a little easier to find. If you got some little leaks or big leaks, so it'll really highlight that side.
Yeah. And save money. It save big money because it's expensive to keep running everything all the time.
I mean, it's not free to run your furnace or air conditioner or anything like that. So whatever you're putting in your house, you want to try to keep as much as you can. I mean, sure, you need fresh air, but we can control that and bring in what you need versus just letting it leak all over the place.
Gotcha. Okay. I want to bring up your website right here, Bigfoot proservices.com, phone number 810-510-FOOT. I love that, by the way. And people can they call just certain hours, or how does it work to contact you?
Yeah, so they can call or text 24 hours. We're there answering. Really from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then emergency services. But they can text message in at 1 in the morning. Hey, I have an emergency service, or hey, I want to be scheduled for Monday. They can text whenever they want.
Wow. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you taking.
Messages.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time. Anyone reach out to me, and they can get you on Facebook, text, phone, mail a pigeon to you or whatever. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.